And I'm also sure you know that they had to securitize the ways and means of 20 trillion and spread it out for 40 years so that me and your generations will pay for it. I'm sure you also know that. So I don't know the kind of economists you're trying to say. Well, leading up to 2015 elections, APC made 62 promises. And you have failed on all of them. And I will read some of them out to you. You can start defending them one by one. 62 promises. You said you were going to ban government officials going abroad for medical treatment. You said that in 2015. The president and your even presidential candidate goes abroad so many times for medical treatment. There are so many. Introduction of national gender policy and offer of 35% appointment to women. Have you done that? No. Creation of 3 million jobs per year. How many jobs have you created? 2 years ago, 33% unemployment rate. You want to react to some of these things before I give you the next one?
Hello, my great and wonderful people. How on a day today? We welcome you once again to our today's episode of this program. And today we get a lot of videos for our table as usual. When we say we want quickly the review to Una concerning the things when we say if they happen right now for inside this country, Nigeria. I better not verse with the laugh. Remember, say anytime when we say they see us, they start to the laugh like this. No, say something heavy they for front. Now, as we talk, now I'm Bola Tinibu when he be the presidential candidate of APC and also Atiku Abubakar when he be the presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party. Their spokesperson, which is their campaign council manager, na in will they try to rescue since. Yes, disgrace don't tie apart for their neck. Yes, as we talk now, but they leave you make you watch how EBC they take go for national television disgrace their self. Yes, we already talking. No way when EBC you will take try because of say you sabi manipulate one or two. Say you want disgrace the whole public. No, it get where it will reach. Everything get limits. Now, before we go on, we want quickly beg you for one thing. Help us to like this video. Because now the only way we want to be say YouTube will fit help us recommend this video to each and every one of us all over the world. The more this video get likes, the more that they recommend them to people. Thank you for your understanding. Now, I'll first of all leave you, make you watch the spokesperson of Bola Tinibu when he did the presenter for this 2023 presidential campaign. Make you hear how he basically it disgrace himself, disgrace the old presidential candidate Bola Tinibu for national television before we bring you the one of Atiku Abubakar. Sit down, relax with us.
Governor Obaseki says Nigeria will break up if your candidate becomes president.
Oh, well, when I heard what he said yesterday, I think basically he has not accounted for all the elements in that statement. So, for example, our debt level, if you look at it, we're still way below the threshold for debt to GDP. Most of our debt also has been channeled into capital projects that would bring productivity to the country. So people have this platitude of saying debt obviously is a problem for a country, but where's your debt channeled to? If your debt is going to channel economic growth and productivity, then it's fine. To be honest, I mean, look at the United States, about $31 trillion in debt. That's a big national debt. Look at Japan, for example, 225% of their GDP is in debt. So basically, most of these type of things, you have to analyze it and make sure you're making data-driven decisions. Because the truth is, if you are fear-mongering and saying we're just printing, I mean, we're in unprecedented economic times, 2 oil crashes. We have a pandemic that obviously ruined the global economy. You have to support your people. You have to make interventions. I mean, look at the UK, look at the US. How do you think they interceded, or how do you think they intervened into their economies? They had to print out money. They had to borrow money. They had to something we call quantitative, easing. Most of them are going into quantitative tightening now. Even the UK has gone back into bond buying program. So the thing is, you have to intervene. You have to make sure you achieve your macroeconomic objectives. So the printing thing, obviously, he's not looking at the process of or what do I call it, the return on investment on our debt. Now, for example, most of the roads we've built were on sukuk bond. Now, most of these sukuk bonds obviously don't charge interest.
I mean, Okpalu, I don't know the kind of economist you practice. If you are saying we are not at default risk when we are servicing our debt with 119% debt service ratio rate, 119%. I'm sure you know now that we are borrowing to service our debts. So there's not a problem with borrowing to service your debt. And I'm also sure you know that they had to securitize the ways and means of 20 trillion and spread it out for 40 years so that me and your generations would pay for it. I'm sure you also know that. So I don't know the kind of economists you're trying to say. Well, leading up to 2015 elections, APC made 62 promises. And you have failed on all of them. And I will read some of them out to you. You can start defending them one by one. 62 promises. You said you were going to ban government officials going abroad for medical treatment. You said that in 2015. The president and your even presidential candidate goes abroad so many times for medical treatment. There are so many. Introduction of national gender policy and offer of 35% appointment to women. Have you done that? No. Creation of 3 million jobs per year. How many jobs have you created? 2 years ago, 33% unemployment rate. You want to react to some of these things before I give you the next one?
I was saying that we're not at default risk on our foreign debt. So basically, yes, I understand our debt servicing, ratio is an issue. But at the end of the day, you need to also take into context we're unprecedented economic times. You can't have a pandemic, you can't have two oil price crashes, and you expect, obviously, government to meet its macroeconomic objectives, which obviously leads me to the next point of which you've talked about, not being able to fulfill some of our promises. We had a black swan event in the pandemic. Most of us have never seen such a scale of disease before in our lives. It's actually locked down the world for over a year. So we're looking at it from 2019, 2020, even some parts of 2021. Travel was restricted. That will obviously affect it. There's no country.
Made in 2015, 4 years before the pandemic. 2015.
No, I'm
you made the promises. 4 years before the pandemic. What were you doing for 4 years before the pandemic? Why are you blaming pandemic now for your problems?
The government. But let me land. When we came into government, you remember, Okonjo-Iweala said it, not me. She said we were about to enter a recession. So we were entering a recession. The PDP government brought us into a recession. So technically, we picked up a recession. So when we entered that, there was also an oil price crash in 2016. So you have to account.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe say una don't see the spokesperson of Bola Tinibu. You know, one thing when we say we observe about these people and their spokesperson, they have a way to defend their candidate. Whether it is very obvious, then they say they fool themselves or not, they must find a way to manipulate themselves out of the situation. Just hear the question, series of questions when they say, this interviewer, Rufai, asked this man, he get any tangible one when he be say he answer. This one they represent Bola Tinibu. All right, I will also leave you to watch the one when we say they represent Atiku Abubakar of People's Democratic Party. Here waiting he talk. I'll come back.
That your former PDP government was deemed to be very corrupt. And I specifically mentioned the case of Diezani. And I'm saying that how can you justify to me that the same PDP that was found very culpable with the mammoth corruption of people like Diezani will be able to fight corruption? And there's also corruption allegation leveled against your presidential candidate, although he's not been charged in court, but they keep talking about the Halliburton scandal and even how he made his money. That is just all rent-seeking.
You talk about the corruption that PDP was accused of pre-2015. And it's amazing, Rufai, that the corruption that is prevalent in Nigeria today is unknown in our history as a people. We are talking about a situation in which an accountant general that was nominated by this administration went away with over 100 billion naira. You are talking about money that APC then, because we were coming to power,
Mr. Ologboni, but accountant
propagated
as your administration. Accountant General too was found for corruption in PDP administration. You can go and check. The man from Oyo State.
How much? He stole over 100 billion.
Stealing is stealing.
Look, let's put the blames. Let's put the blames where they are. If a man comes to your house and stole a razor blade, for instance, are you now going to compare him with a man who came to your house and lifted your car? We are talking about the worsening situation of corruption in this country. It's unfortunate that I want to reduce this discussion or this conversation to issue of comparison. And if we are going to do that, Rufai, you cannot compare PDP administration and the All Progressives Congress administration.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe say all of you are done listening to this man, the representative of Atiku Abubakar, going to be the presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party. Una see the questions when we say they ask this man. God will bless this Rufai, the presenter of Arise News. God will bless you. Because honestly, the kind of confidence when we say with the see for your own journalism, it makes us to get interest and confidence in journalism. Yes. The kind way when we say they give them really the real question open face without be say you know they bend any words. Stealing, not stealing. Thief, not thief. Whether it thief and small or it thief and big, na public money na in it carry. Yes. Now the one will be say they available for am. That very time when it be say it the lead when una administration, PDP administration take they on board na in it carry. Now the one when it be say Desiani carry when it be say they available for am for your own time na in it still carry. Whether na elephant they available for am when it carry or na needle they available for am when it carry. Now the one when be say they available now it carry. Now thief. Now may we ask question. People like this supposed to come outside on open air to open their mouth shamefully to the tell Nigerian whether you will feel compare needle to car. If person enter your house, come thief needle. Whether you use and compare person when be say he go thief car. Listen to me. I don't see somebody when be say he thief only chewing gum. I mean ordinary chewing gum. He go for 10 years imprisonment. People when they say that they thief better money, they know they see their back for sale. Not talk say na jail they want go. So you know if you tell us now because of say the money where your accountant general of the federation for your own time for PDP thief, it not the equivalent to the one when it be say the one of APC thief. So your own now not can be thief. It not be stealing. Now take away. I don't understand. People like this, I don't understand, say, if they come interview, whether they know they get themselves prepared, say, a lot of questions will come. Now, true, they not fit get prepared because they know, say, our journalists, they know they ask questions. Then they gather their head, they ask questions when they say, is they favorable to the people when they say they want even interview. Majority of them, even they go ahead, they tell them the question when they say they will ask them if they come studio, so that may they get themselves prepared. Yes. Now Nigeria now in with them. We understand everything. Now the reason why they say they not they take them by surprise. As they come, as they prepare, now so they will take ask them. After it don't finish, they go their house, they celebrate, continue with their own evil ways. Thank God for people like Rufai. We still pray, may God Almighty continue to shield you from these evil predators. Because now the same role when it say people like Delejiwa play for their own time. During their time of journalism, now in this man they play today so, without fear of favor. God will bless you. All right, my great and wonderful people, because of time, we will add any other video to this very broadcast. We will leave you to share your own opinion with us in the comment section. Every other videos we'll take them over to our next broadcast. I bet bear with us. All right, before we draw the line here, we want to quickly use this medium to appreciate each and every one of you for your time when you basically stay with us up to this moment. God Almighty will bless you for your effort, and also the one who basically the help or to share this broadcast, your likes, your comments, all of them, we appreciate them. I bet make not forget to help us share this very one so that we still reach our brothers and sisters all over the world, because we believe I want to say information, not power. And also do so, God Almighty will bless you. We'd like to draw the conclusion of this program here. We will see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.